Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to move on in our Mandala Sampler Throw to Hexagon 13. So for those that are not understanding completely, so we've been getting some messages on it. It's like, why are you not filming all the rest of them? Well, as we said here, like number one, the number one that you see in this position, the only difference between all of those 6 is the color sequence. So if you go on the pattern itself, you will find number 2 and you'll find all the rest of them, and you'll find all the color sequences, and we'll talk about that. So number 7, which we've already filmed, are in this position. Again, see how they all look similar? It's just a different color. Number 13, there's 6 of those, and that's what we're gonna be doing today, and those are in the yellow. This one I've been really quite nervous about teaching because it looks kind of complicated, so hopefully it's not as complicated as it looks. No promises today. I haven't actually done a sample in advance, so we'll figure that out. So let's go to the instructions and quickly talk about that. So looking at the instructions, when we're going to see all the different ones, so we have 2, 3, 4, and you can see there's not a lot of written instruction here because it's just assigning you the color. So the information has already been written out here, and it says using A for round number 1, F for round number 2, and etc. And this will create this particular one. In number 7, which we filmed, there was slight difference of instructions, so the sequence was changed in the color sequence, and then also stitch markers were placed for that one that we did. Then for number 13, that's gonna start on page number 3, and page number 3 we're going to be providing some extra instructions. This round here is scaring me a little bit, but that's because I haven't read it yet. It just looks long. So we're gonna get through there, and that will then go on to page number 4 when you're going to do that, and etc. So you will see that the rest of those kind of fall in line with that one as well. So let's take a look what we've already done, and then we're gonna move on to today's example. So far this is hexagon number 1, hexagon number 7. So the difference between 1 and 6 is that they were just a different color breakdown. So this one here, number 7, again the rest of the other 5 will just be a different color breakdown, but the overlay is the same. So let's move along today into number 13, lucky 13, and we need to create 6 of those, and again there's a different color breakdown for each one of those versions as well. So we'll just do the main one, and then you can substitute the color from that point. As we move into number 13, you're going to say work A, fasten off. Or what are you doing for A? So remember, we're looking at the hexagon number 1 through 6 on hexagon 1. So we're gonna be using that as our example to do that. So remember that the A color, which is the white, is the strategy color. So even if you're changing out your colors, where the A falls is something that you want to be paying attention to in order to keep the balance of this particular project. So we are going to work, so if you've already done hexagons 1 and 7 already, you pretty much know the stitch that you need to do, but we are going to cover that today anyway. So let's begin let's begin our starting chain. So let's begin. We're gonna create a slip knot using a 5.5 millimeter size I crochet hook, and I'm using Caron 1 pound today, just as a disclaimer. You're going to chain 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slip stitch to the beginning and form the beginning ring, and let's move on to round number 1, keeping the same color going. So in round number 1, it's like before, chain up 1 and 1 single crochet into the center, and then chain 2, and then another one into the center, and you want to do that so you get your 6 sides as always. So chain 2, single crochet in the middle, chain 2, single crochet in the middle, chain 2, single crochet in the middle. So I want to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 2, single crochet in the middle. This is the 6th one, and to join it, chain 2 and go to the first single crochet. So you should have a total of 6 of those single crochets that are going around in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's fasten off this. I'll only show it to you once in this video, and let's show you that next. So cutting your strand, if you went right over top of the beginning one, you can cut that, but you'll have to secure it with the tapestry hook if you didn't do that. Okay, turn it to the back side and just run your yarn through. So anytime you need to change your yarn, I'm pretty much recommending that for this, and I would do it as you would go, therefore you won't have as many tails to deal with at the end, which can be quite frustrating, especially when there's a lot. So you're just going to trim that right to the project, go back and forth 3 times, and then that was a charm. Let's begin round number 2, starting with the different colors. So 2 and 3 are a different color. Let's begin round number 2 and 3. So it's like what we already know. Hopefully this is not the first video you're following, so I'll try my best anyway. So you're gonna go into a chain 2 space, and it says to attach chain 1 and then single crochet in, but it looks nicer if you put it onto your hook now and then go through the chain space and then pull through, and then you'll have 2 loops on the hook, pull through 2. That's a standing single crochet. So in round number 2 you're going to chain 2 after you do that, and then single crochet back into there. So we're establishing our corners. So going to the next chain 2 space, it's single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and please do this all the way around. You should have a total of 6 of these going all the way around, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into the same. So when you get all the way around, you're just going to slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet, and we're gonna move on to round number 3. Okay, so keeping this color. Don't fasten off at the end of this round either. So we're gonna keep it going for round number 4 and 5 and 6. So this is pretty much almost gonna be a solid color for a little bit. So let's continue on to round number 3. To make it look kind of consistent, what you can do for this is that you can just immediately single crochet right into the chain 2 space, and we've done this before. So we don't chain up 1 and then, or sorry, we don't slip stitch over and then chain up 1 and then start. You can actually see it, so you can really hide it well if you just go into the corner. So chain 2 space, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So like the rest, you're gonna skip the first one out, and you're gonna go to the second, and you're going to single crochet. So that one's by itself, and then you have a chain 2 space. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. You skip the first one out from a corner, and then you go to the second one, and then you got the next corner in a row. So please do this all the way around. This is round number 3. When you get all the way back around, don't forget you have to still skip 1 and go to the second over. That's kind of where you started. And you're going to single crochet, and then you're going to join to the top of the first single crochet that went into that chain 2 space. So we have to get some stitch markers ready. You should be able to see 6 sides at this point, which I can. So let's get some stitch markers ready, and you'll need a total of 6 of them, and just make them yay long, and I'm just gonna do a color that I can easily see. So just relatively long, because I don't know what we're doing actually yet. So let's do this. So stitch markers, 6 of them. So round number 4, we're going to apply stitch markers. I have them off to the side here. So again, right where we are, just go immediately and just start single crocheting in the chain 2 space. So ignore the instruction or what it says to do. It just looks nicer. So single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. So we are going to place a stitch marker on the third one out. The second one of the corner is considered 1. We're gonna skip the first one, and then we're gonna single crochet the next 2. So 1 and 2. So if the second one is of the corner is considered 1, 2, and 3, this is the third one right here, and you're going to place a stitch marker in that stitch. This is for the surface overlay in the future. So if you've done hexagon number 7, you would have saw that. So now you're gonna go into your next corner immediately. So you're gonna single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. So you will notice is that you can see a single crochet after the corner, one by itself, and then another, and then this is the next corner. So if you can make a decision if you're gonna go all the way around and just place it in that position later, or do it as you go. So after this corner, the first one's in, so this is 1. You skip the next one, so this is 2, this is 3, so that's where the stitch marker go, and then your corner's next. So you can easily tell in this particular level because it's so early on. So you have 1, 2, and 3, and the third one is in, and you can pull it through. So make a decision whether you're gonna do it as you go, or wait till later. It's up to you, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So coming up all the way around, remember we started off with the corner by just reaching over, so we have to just slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet to finish that. Okay, so all my stitch markers are in. I did go all the way around and placed in the rest of them when you weren't watching me. So let's begin to round number 5 and 6. We're gonna continue with this color. So we're not placing any stitch markers. So 5 and 6 is what you already know. So just reach on over to the corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and like before you just skip over the first one and then just single crochet the rest until you get to the next corner. Just ignore those stitch markers, leave them out of your vision for now. And when you get to the corner, you're going to single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then skip the next one. So please do this for now 5 and 6, and we will finish off this color at the end of number 6. So please do the next 2 rounds, which is this one plus the next one. I'll see you at the end of that in just a moment. So I've now just come up to the end of number 6. So I'm going to now fasten this off, and we are going to start with the color A once again, which will be, in this case, it'll be white. So let's just get this ready and let's move on and figure out how to do number 7. Let's begin round number 7. You're going to take your white and you're going to join it, and I'm recommending standing single crochet as before. So standing single, chain 2, single crochet. So you have to count over in order to be strategic. So the first one is actually right here. So 1, 2, and go to the third. Before you do that though, chain 1 and then jump into the third for a single crochet. This one that's been marked with the stitch marker, you're going to do a long single crochet. So just going right into there and let that fall over to the back side and pull through, and you're gonna pull up enough slack that it will sit comfortably at the same level, and then yarning over, pulling it through 2, and just kind of move it out to the side, and the very next stitch, so you're not skipping any stitch, is going to be a single crochet. And you can pull the stitch marker out because it says to do that. So now chain only 1, skipping the next 2, and then you're back on the corner. So I'll show you another side. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So skipping to the third one, so 1, 2, go to the third, chain 1 before you do that. So single crochet into the third one, do your long single crochet, pull up, and then in the very next stitch just move it out to the side if you don't see it, and you can pull that stitch marker out, chain 1, and then skip the final 2 and go right into the corner. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Do this all the way around. This is round number 7. Coming to the end of number 7, I'm just going to skip the final and just go to the first standing single crochet. This is the end of this color, so just fasten this off and meet me back here and get rid of all your stitch markers at this point, and we'll start round number 8 in just a moment. Let's begin round number 8. Let's start off in the corner, do a standing single crochet, and then chain 2 and then a single crochet. So this is a nice easy round to be able to understand. So you're going to then continue along, and you were going to skip the next single crochet from the corner, and this chain 1 spaces you're going to put in 3 single crochets into each. So 1, 2, and 3, and then just jump on over these 3 and just come into the next chain 1 space and put 3 in that side. So 1, 2, and 3, like that, and then you're gonna go right into the corner. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So to recap, these chain 1 spaces will each have 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3. Jump to the next one on the other side of this, so don't interfere with it. So 1, 2, 3, and then your corners. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Please do this for round number 8. I'm coming up to the end of round number 8, and I'm just going to go in. So don't fasten off, so we're just gonna slip stitch to the first one, and then we're going to start on to round number 9, and we're gonna continue this color as we continue along. We have the stitch markers to place in, but not until round number 10. So let's move on to round number 9 first. Round number 9 is like what you already know for when you were down here in the red. So just immediately come right to the corner. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and again skipping the first one out now like we had been, and then single crochet the rest. Then do your next corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and skip the first one, and then single crochet the rest. Please do this all the way around. This is round number 9. When you come around on number 9, you're just going to join it to the first single crochet you started with, and then you'll move on to round number 10. Have those stitch markers ready, get them back up, and let's begin round number 10 with some stitch marker action. Let's start round number 10. Just go immediately to the corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. The first thing or the second single crochet of the corner is considered 1. You're skipping the next one, so the next one is 2, then 3, 4 and 5. The fifth one here you're going to place in that stitch marker. So you'll do this on each side. And then you'll carry on to the corner. The corners are always going to be the same of single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So remember, the second one of a corner is considered 1, skipping the next one out from a corner and go to the next one. This is 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is the stitch marker. So please do this all the way around. This is round number 10. So I'm coming up to the end of number 10 and I'm just fastening off then this color. I'm bringing back white. Remember, that is the common color, and we'll begin round number 11 for just one round of white. So starting in any chain 2 space in a corner is just one round of white. You already know what to do. You're standing single, chain 2 and then single, and then you're gonna skip the first one out of the corner and go to the second and single crochet all the way to the next corner and do your next corner, and then keep on moving around. So ignore those stitch markers for this round. I'll see you at the end of round number 11. Once you're done number 11, just slip stitch to the first standing single crochet, and then that's it. So let's move on to round number 12 using the color G, and I'll be back and you're gonna have to have some stitch markers ready as well. Using the color G, I'm just randomizing my colors, and we're going to do round number 12 and 13 and 14 with G, and we're also going to continue. So G is pretty much the ending color for most of the rest of this. So I'm going to start off, and we have the stitch markers handy, and I'm going to start off in the corner. So standing single, chain 2 and single crochet in. So what we need to do is that we need to place the stitch marker in the second single crochet following the chain 2 space. So this is considered 1. You're gonna skip the next one as always, and this is gonna be considered 2. So this is where you'll put your stitch marker in. I would if you weren't watching me, I know it's the second one all the way around, so I would just like literally crochet around this thing without worrying about the stitch marker and put it in at the end, so you know it's the second one away from a corner. So then the rest of this this rest of this side is just single crochet in each to the next corner and continue around. So don't fasten off at the end, and place your stitch markers on the second stitch in from the corner. So I'll see you at the end of this round. This is round number 12. Once you get around number 12, you're just going to slip stitch to the beginning, single crochet, standing single, and now rounds number 13 and 14 are next using the same color. It's already what you know. Ignore the stitch markers that are in play, and you're just gonna start off in the corner. So do rounds number 13 and 14 just single crochet, chain 2 single crochet on skipping the first one out, and then just go to the second, and etc. And please do this all the way around, and I'll see you at the end of round number 14. So there's 2 rounds of this. So this is round number 13 and 14, and we're gonna continue with G, so don't change out that color when you get to the end of number 14. When you get around on number 14, so last stitch, you're just going to fasten off, you're just going to join. We are going to do the white for round number 15 and 16, so we'll be finishing off the 2 rounds using white. So let's begin number 15 in just a moment. Now round number 15, we're going to do long single crochet, and it's gonna resemble almost like icicles. It's actually really kind of cool. Daniel designed something like this before. It looks really cool. So you're gonna start off in a corner. It's already what you know is standing single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet. So let's talk. So we're going to skip the first one out like we normally do and single crochet in the next. Do you see this single crochet down here, or sorry, this one down here? That's the first stitch that you need to go into for the long single crochet, and that's going to count as this stitch here. So you're just going to come down and you're gonna pull up to the equal height and finish it. So that counts as the stitch that it's sitting in front of. So then you'll single crochet the next, and then you'll do another long single. So it's not this one, it's the second one away. So you're just gonna come in, pull up, finish it, and then single crochet the next. You get that? So the next one is here. Try to be consistent with the tension, and then single crochet the next, and you're gonna do this all the way to the corner. Usually these kind of stitches are the deal breaker for crocheters. I'm not sure why. It looks really kind of cool, but I think people kind of get nervous about it. Okay, and then you're gonna come into the next one here, and then you're gonna go into your corner space. Okay, so once that last one's in, so make sure it looks balanced. So then you'll go into your corner, so single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So to start a new side, you're going to skip the first one out and single crochet, and then you're going to jump on down. Okay, and that counts as the one it's sitting in front of, so you'll single crochet the next. And you can pull those stitch markers out once you understand this as well. So you come on down and then single crochet the next. So you're gonna do that all the way, and it should look like this. And once you're good, you can just pull the stitch marker out for that one, and etc. So please do this all the way around. This is round number 15. So coming to the end of number 15, just slip stitching, and now the final round, here we go. It is already what you know, so just a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, skip the first one out from the corner and go to the second and single crochet out across the top of the stitches, and then do your next corner, and etc. And this will conclude off round number 16, where I'll meet you back here, and then we're gonna start the surface overlay from that point. So this is it for round number 16. So now we're gonna fasten off completely, and then we're gonna start our surface overlay. We're gonna be using the color white and then dividing up our lines and doing the fun stuff in the middle. So we have to do our dividing lines first and then the other fun stuff. So let's do that next, surface overlay. So let's do our surface overlay. This is number 13. So like before, if this is your first video, then this is how we did it. We just looped around a large loop like this. So don't do anything as far as like putting a slip knot on it, and start right in the center and pulling that loop from the back side. So you have to surface overlay from the back. So you're gonna come up and you bring that through. You were going to follow the chain 2 space, so immediately go into the first one, the chain 2 space, and then just yarning over just the yarn going to the yarn ball and pulling this through, and that's a slip stitch. Now this loop is gonna be really loose because it's the starting one, but we'll tighten it up when we go to fasten that off. So just go to the next chain 2 space and pull up, and then the rest of the loops should look like a consistent size. So you need to follow this right up to the edge, and then I will meet you back there in just a second. I'll show you how to fasten off. So we need to do all 6 of these separating chain 2 corner spaces before you're moving on to the rest. So what I would do if it were me and you weren't watching me, I would just do all of the surface overlay, and then I would just grab my tapestry needle and just weave in all the ends at the end of the experience for these dividing lines. So you're gonna go right up to the edge, right into the white, and then that's where your journey will end. So once you've got that done, just lay it down and just leave a long enough tail. And what I need you to do is just grab a tapestry needle. Again, I would do the tapestry at the end, like I would do all of the 6 dividing lines first. And you're gonna go down into the project into the other side. Now because you have a white border, you can literally go back and forth on the border a total of 3 times. Don't interfere with the outside edge because you're gonna need to sew this together with other motifs in the end. And you're just gonna do that. So back and forth 3 times. So now we have to deal with that starting strand that it has that large loop. So the starting strand, just put that onto your tapestry needle as well. And before you pull on it, just turn it over. And you need to get the same kind of distance that you can see with the rest. So when you pull, I want it to look pretty much the same, and then once it's done, you're going to weave it into the center of this, back and forth a total of 3 times. So do all the dividing lines now and then meet me back here in just a moment and then we'll start the other stuff. And the other stuff I think is actually just a 1 revolution around, so there's not a lot of tails to deal with like it would be with these dividing lines. That's my guess so far, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. All my dividing lines have now been done, so it's all been woven in the back as well. So let's begin our journey. So we have to start somewhere here, we have to end up there and then back down. So it's a little bit of a guess. So just kind of keep an eye on what you're doing in one section and then duplicate it over. So I'm gonna start here. I'm just guessing. And so I will secure the loose end later. And so then I'm going to move up. So just moving stitch by stitch. You can move on angles. It's like a game of chess. And then coming up. Okay, so I'm going into the stitch marked one, so that will secure that in. I'm going to jump over that same one and then start moving back down towards the other side. So coming down at an angle. There you go. It's just really a guess. Once I'm here, I'm going to just jump on over so that I have a nice straight line going across that, and then start your journey again moving up. So you're just gonna continue to rotate around, just going up and down with the motion of the ocean, and continue that journey around. So I'll leave this in your capable hands and I'll see you at the end where we'll fasten off, and I'll show you a couple tricks for that too. And I'll see you back here in just a moment. When you come back around, what we need to do is that we just need to cut this, and I've just come across the top and I need to go into this piece here. So I want to pull to the front side. I don't want to see where I stopped and started, so the secret to doing that is pull to the front side here and scoop it underneath this stitch here. And what you're doing is that you're making another stitch that looks identical, but it's actually done with your needle. So you're gonna pull it so it looks like it's the same distance, and then go back down through the middle of that where you just came from, and that will make it look like it's a finished stitch. See? So on the other side you're going to turn it over and just weave it in just with this within the same color, so that you don't end up with tails everywhere. Now we still have the starting strand to finish, and so when we go to pull on that, we want to make it look like the same size too. So again, back and forth 3 times is the magic number. And let's put that other straggler on. You can pull at the other stitch markers. So I want, before I pull on it, I want to just turn it over so I can look at it and see if it's the right size, and it is. So it's right. Actually, just pull on a little bit. See? Pull it, make it look good, and then once you're happy with it, just secure it in. So back and forth 3 times on the back side in the same color is the best. Therefore it won't be as obvious when the blanket flips over. And this would be how you would complete the other one. So we're gonna do a recap in just a second, and we're just gonna trim this yarn, and this will be the 3rd hexagon. There's only 4 types, and this is the 3rd one, number 13. Let's turn this over and let's quickly review. So here's the finished version. So what I would want to do is take it and damp block it, or take a steamer to it, which I will do, and then this is what we did today. Our last time that we saw each other, we were doing this one here. This was number 7. Beautiful work, looks great. And then finally the first one that started this whole journey is right here. So next time you see me, we'll do number 4, the final, and it's actually just one solid color with strategic lines that will just finish it off beautifully. So I'll see you next time, and it's Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd. So it's my friends over at Rnds.com. Bye bye.